Hello everyone, this is Sarabjit Kaur and today we are going to start our chapter number 10, The Hen. The Hen chapter is written by Hector Hugh Munro, that was also known as Saki. His pen name is Saki. He has written many short stories and his famous first book was The Rise of the Russian Empire, that was published in 1900. Now today we will discuss about the story, that is a hen. It is an extract from the Saki's The Hen. So it is an extract. Here the Mrs. Sangrail has a troublesome guest at her house. Mrs. Sangrail, that is a main character, and her son is Clovis. These are the characters. Her son is Clovis. Jane Martlet and the Dora, these are the guests. Jane Martlet came at the home and Dora will come. And the stories is a butler, that is a servant at their home. Queen Annie is a imaginative character in this story. So this is all about the characters. Now we will start. So in Mrs. Sangrail, there will be troublesome guests, Jane Martlet and Dora. So troublesome means those who cause the trouble for the others. Another guest is due to arrive. Another guest that will come, that was the Dora. Can her son Clovis convince the troublesome guest to leave without his mother's knowledge? Now, how her son convinced the guest to leave the house? How happened it? How he doesn't let her mother know and convince the guest to leave the house? Read this extract. Now, this next Thursday, asked Clovis. Now, Clovis asked, this next Thursday? His mother nodded. His mother said, yes. Nodded means to move the head. You have rather done it, haven't you? He chuckled. Jane Martlet has only been here 5 days and she never stays less than a fortnight. So she said that Jane Martlet is living from the 5 days, but she will spend more than 14 days. Fortnight means 2 weeks or 14 days. So she will spend more than 14 days. You will never get her out of the house by Thursday. How we will get her out of house by Thursday? Because the next guest is coming. Why should I? Asked Mrs. Sangrail. She and Dora are good friends, aren't they? They used to be, as far as I remember. Now Mrs. Sangrail said that why should I tell her to go? Because Dora and Jane Martlet, these two are very good friends. Why should I tell to Jane Martlet to leave the house? So they used to be, that's what makes them all the more bitter now. Now Clovis said that they were very good friends, but now they are not. Their relationships became bitter. But what has happened? Has someone been making mischief? Now Mrs. Sangrail asked that is there anything which happened in between them? Not exactly, said Clovis. A hen came between them. He said, no, not exactly, but the hen came between them. The reason because of their bitterness is that hen. A hen? What hen? It was a bronze leghorn. Bronze leghorn, that is a breed of a hen. So a hen came between them. That was a bronze leghorn or some such exotic, that is a foreign breed, and Dora sold it to Jane at a rather exotic price. Exotic first is foreign, the second one is a high. That means firstly foreign breed, the next one is Dora sold the hen to the Jane Martlet at very high price. That was a breeded hen. That breed was from the foreign. Jane thought she was going to get her money back in a large family of pedigree chicken. Now, but Jane thought that when the hen will give the kids like chicks will be there, then she can return the money. The bird turned out to be an abstainer from an egg habit. So that the hen became abstainer, that means that did not lay the eggs. Now the money get wasted. That is why the reason was that the hen became in between them. That hen which was sold by Dora to Jane Martlet, that became abstainer, that do not lay the eggs. How ridiculous, said Mrs. St. Grail. It's most awkward situation. Do you suppose they won't speak to one another? Now he said that is ridiculous. They do not speak with each other. On the contrary, the difficult will be to get them to leave off. So the problem is that to whom they can say that leave the home. I can't put Dora off, said Mrs. St. Grail. Now Mrs. St. Grail said that I cannot say to the Dora to leave the house to postpone the visit, because she already told her to postpone before it. So she thought that some miracle should be happen over there, that they both, someone can sit here, someone can live there and someone should be go from there. Let me try my best, said Clovis. Now Clovis will do something for let them go out of the house, those guests. So servants are a bit of nuisance. Now muttered Clovis, talking to Jane Martlet at tea time. Now the Clovis, there is one idea in his mind. He is going to follow that idea. He said that servants are a bit of nuisance. That means nonsense. They doesn't know what to do. I don't see what you have to complain of, exclaimed Jane. Your mother is so wonderfully lucky in her servants. Doris, for instance, has been with you for years. Now Jane Martlet said that you are very lucky in the servants. Your servant Doris is very nice and he is living from the years from with you. How you can say that they are nuisance? That's just the trouble, said Clovis. Now Clovis said that is the trouble, that he is living with us from years. It's when servants have been with you for years that they become a really serious nuisance. It was Doris I was particularly thinking of when I made the observation about servants being a nonsense. Now he said that because he is living from a years, that is why he is creating disturbance for us. The excellent stories a nuisance, I can't believe it, said Jane. Now Jane said that he is nuisance, I can't believe it. I know he is excellent, we just couldn't get along without him, but his orderliness has had an effect on him. Have you ever wondered what it must be like to go on doing the correct things in the correct manner in the same surroundings for a long time? He said that his orderliness, that means the thing that he do all the things in a disciplined manner, that is creating problem for us. He is excellent, but his habit of doing all the things in an organized manner, that is a problem for us. These lines can help you to answer the question number 2. I should go mad, said Jane. Exactly, said Clovis thoughtfully. But Doris hasn't gone mad, said Jane with a flutter of inquiry in her voice. Now he said that it can't be happen. I should go mad if the things can go in an organized manner. On most points he is thoroughly sane and reliable, said Clovis, but at times he is subject to the most obstinate delusions. Obstinate delusions mean stubborn and false beliefs. He has some false beliefs which he is going to tell to the Jane about storage. He said that he has some false belief in his mind, in the storage mind, and on those occasions he becomes not merely a nuisance but a sure embarrassment. He said that when he do all those things because of his false beliefs, then he create the disturbance for us. What sort of delusions? Unfortunately, they usually center around one of the guests of the house party. You don't mean to say he might be dangerous, do you? Asked Jane with some anxiety. Now he said that he create problem for the guests also. That then Jane said that you are pointing to me that he can create disturbance for me. One can never be certain, said Clovis. He said that we can't sure that he can disturb you. Now and then he gets some idea about a guest which might take an unfortunate turn. That is precisely what is worrying me at the present moment. He said that one thing is worrying me in the present moment. That is, what has he taken a fancy about someone here now? Asked Jane excitedly. Do tell me what it is. Now Jane is excited to know that what is the thing that disturbs the storage. You, said Clovis briefly. Now Clovis said, you are the problem for the storage. Me? Clovis nodded. Now storage asked that it is me. Then Clovis said, yes, you are. Who on earth does he think I am? Clovis said that what he thinks that what you are for him. Queen Anne was an unexpected answer. Now he said that he thinks that you are a Queen Anne. It is an imaginative character. He supposed that Jane is a Queen Anne. Anyhow, Queen Anne, what an idea. But anyhow, there's nothing dangerous about her. She's such a colorless personality. The only thing that I can remember about her is saying Queen Anne is dead. Now the thing is that Storage thinks that Queen Anne is dead. Clovis said the thing is that she was a very good lady, she is colorless personality, but the thing is that Queen Anne is dead. Exactly, said Clovis, dead. Do you mean he takes me for the ghost of Queen Anne? Asked Jane. Then Jane asked that means he is taking me as a Queen Anne that is dead. These lines can help you to answer the question number 4. Ghost. Dear, no one ever heard of a ghost being so very much alive and flourishing. All his life he has been accustomed to look at Queen Anne as the personification of everything that dead and done with, as dead as Queen Anne, and now he has to listen to your talks of the merry times you had at the Dublin Horse Show, and naturally he feels that something's very wrong with you. Now he said that although you do not consider that ghosts are there, but Storage thinks that the ghosts are there, so he takes you as a Queen Anne. But he wouldn't be hostile to me on that account, would he? Jane asked anxiously. It is just an idea of Clovis to let the Jane Martlet out of the house. Nothing, that was not a reality. But he wouldn't be hostile to me on that account, would he? Jane asked. Then he said that he can't hurt me on that account that I am a Queen Anne. Why he will hurt me? I didn't get really alarmed about it till lunch today, said Clovis. I caught him glowering at you and muttering ought to be dead long ago. That's why I mentioned the matter to you. Now he said that I saw him that he was glowering at you. Glowering means he was looking angrily at you. Looking angrily. So that is why I thought that I should mention all the things to you. This is awful, said Jane. Your mother must be told about it at once. Now he said that your mother should told me about this thing. This is an awful situation. My mother mustn't hear a word about it, said Clovis earnestly. It would upset her dreadfully. She relies on Storage for everything. Now he said that my mother will not hear it. He will not listen it because he relies on the Storage. He believes the Storage that he will do everything in a correct manner. But he might kill me at any moment, protested Jane. But now the Jane was thinking that the butler, that servant, can kill me anytime. Not at any moment. He is busy with the silver all the afternoon. Busy with silver, that means cleaning the cutlery, that all the containers which were made up of silver, he was busy with those ones. You will have to keep a sharp look out all the time and be on your guard, said Jane. It's a dreadful situation to be in with a mad butler around you, but I am certainly not going to cut my visit short. She said that it is a dangerous thing to live with the that butler, but I will not cut my visit. I will live here. It was in the hall the next morning after a late breakfast that Clovis had his final inspiration as he stood removing rust spots from an old putter. Putter means a stick or a club used to hit a golf ball. From there the butler was removing the spots. And on that time, it was the last idea which Clovis was thinking to let the Jane out of the house. Where is Miss Martlet? He asked Storage, who was at that moment crossing the hall. Now he asked, where is Miss Martlet? That is a Jane. Writing letters in the morning room, sir, said Storage. What she is doing? She is writing letters. She wants to copy the inscription on the old basket-hilted sabre, said Clovis, pointing to the sword hanging on the wall. Now he pointed to the sword that was hanging on the wall. He said that he wants to inscribe something on the old basket-hilted sabre. I wish you had taken it to her. My hands are all over in oil. Now Clovis said that in my hands there is a oil. Please take that one sword and give it to the Jane. Take it without the sheath. It would be less trouble. Now what the Clovis said, that take that sword without sheath. That means without covering. Sheath that covers the sword. You should take that without the sheath. The butler drew the sword and carried it into the morning room. Now he took that sword and carried to the morning room where Jane Martlet was sitting. There was a door near the writing table leading to the back stair. When the Jane saw that he was bringing sword, she became frightened, and she leading to the back stairway door. There was one door that was going to the back side of the house. Jane vanished through it with such lightning rapidity that the butler doubted whether she had seen him come in. Now butler, that servant, that was he doesn't know anything about the idea of Clovis. He was just obeying the orders of the person that was a Clovis. Half an hour later, Clovis was driving Jane Martlet and her hastily packed luggage to the station. Now what the Clovis saw, that Jane was packing her bag, that was luggage. Mother will be awfully vexed when she finds you have gone. Now Clovis said that mother will be awfully vexed, that means she will annoy that you have gone, he observed to the departing guest. Now Clovis said that she is going, but I will make up some story about an urgent wire having called you away. No need to alarm her unnecessarily about Storage. Jane sniffed slightly at Clovis' idea of unnecessary alarm. However, Clovis' efforts proved. Now she is going, but the efforts of Clovis that became useless, because on the same day Dora wrote that she is going to postpone her visit. So although he did so many things to let her out of the house, but the Dora also postponed her visit. So there is some exercises like tick the correct options. Jane Martlet usually stayed at Mrs. St. Grail's house for less than a fortnight or a fortnight. There will be a less than a fortnight. You can see in the chapter. If there will be any doubt, like in the next B part, there is a read the sentence and answer the question. On the contrary, the difficulty will be to get them to leave off. There is one line on the page number 58. On the contrary, the difficulty will be to get them leave off. It is the important one because it came in the last year examination also. So who said these words and to whom? Mrs. St. Grail to Clovis. In this way, you will solve all the exercises from who said these words, read the sentences and answer the questions. Next is answer these questions. These all answers in the chapter. If there will be any doubt, you can ask in the comment section box, in the word study, in the grammar study, and in the question answer anywhere. Thanks and have a nice day.